Belleville had always been a town of stories, quaint, charming, and full of folklore. But behind the cobblestone streets and blooming flower boxes lay a darker history, one that only the oldest residents dared whisper about. It was the tale of a palavra final, the final word, a cursed phrase that sealed the fate of anyone who spoke it in the throes of love. Sofia and Leo had believed themselves immune to such superstitions. Their love was pure, untouchable by the darkness that had claimed so many before them. But they were wrong. The first part of their story had ended in tragedy, with Leo's mysterious death just days before their wedding. Sofia was left shattered, haunted by the last words he had whispered to her, a palavra final. Those words echoed in her mind like a death knell, driving her to the brink of madness. But as the days passed, Sofia began to notice strange occurrences around her. Shadows moved in the corners of her vision, and she could hear Leo's voice calling to her in the dead of night. Desperate to uncover the truth, she returned to the old family estate where they had planned to start their new life together. The estate was a grand, decaying mansion that had stood on the outskirts of Belleville for centuries. It was said to be cursed, its halls haunted by the spirits of those who had fallen victim to the final word. But Sofia, consumed by grief and love, could not stay away. She spent her days in the mansion, searching for clues in the dusty tomes and hidden chambers that filled its endless rooms. And at night, she would hear Leo's voice, clearer and more desperate with each passing hour. Sofia, you must break the curse before it's too late. One evening, as the sun set behind the twisted trees surrounding the estate, Sofia discovered an old journal in a forgotten corner of the library. The pages were yellowed with age, the ink faded, but the words were still legible. It was the diary of Isabella, a young woman who had lived in the mansion over a century ago. Isabella's story mirrored Sofia's own, a love that had been torn apart by the final word. But Isabella had discovered something that gave Sofia hope. According to the journal, there was a way to break the curse, but it required a sacrifice, one that would bind the lovers together for eternity, but at a terrible cost. As Sofia read the final entry, she felt a cold hand on her shoulder. She turned, expecting to see Leo, but found herself alone. The room was filled with an unnatural chill, and the shadows seemed to close in around her. Sofia. The voice was unmistakably Leo's, but there was something different about it, something darker. She followed the sound, her heart pounding in her chest, leading her to the grand staircase that wound up to the highest tower of the mansion. There, in the flickering candlelight, stood Leo. His form was ghostly, translucent, but his eyes burned with a desperate intensity. Sofia, you must not finish what Isabella started. Tears streamed down Sofia's face as she reached out to him. Leo, I can save us. I can break the curse. But Leo shook his head. No, Sofia. It is too dangerous. The curse is not what it seems. It is a trap, a way to bring the dead back, but at a price no one should pay. Sofia's resolve wavered. She had been so certain, but now, standing before the man she loved, she realized the horror of what she was about to do. What? What is the price? Leo's form flickered, his voice a hollow whisper. To break the curse, you must speak the final word again, but this time, with the intent to bind us forever. It will grant us eternal life together, but in death. We will be trapped in this mansion, never to leave, never to find peace. Sofia staggered back, the weight of the revelation crushing her. No, I can't do that to you, to us. Leo's eyes softened, and for a moment, he looked like the man she had fallen in love with. Sofia, there is another way. You must let me go. Destroy the journal, leave this place, and never return. Only then can the curse be broken, and I can rest. Sofia's heart shattered as she realized the truth of his words. She had to choose between her love for Leo and freeing him from the torment that bound him to the mansion. With trembling hands, Sofia picked up the journal and walked to the fireplace. She hesitated, feeling Leo's gaze on her, his presence both comforting and agonizing. "Sofia, I love you. This is the only way." Tears blurred her vision as she threw the journal into the flames. The fire roared to life, consuming the pages in an instant. As the last of the journal turned to ash, the mansion shuddered, and Sofia felt a cold wind rush past her. Leo's form began to fade, his voice a whisper on the wind. "Thank you, Sofia. You have set me free." Sofia collapsed to the floor, sobbing as the reality of her loss set in. The mansion grew silent, the oppressive weight of the curse lifting, leaving behind only an empty stillness. Days later, the townspeople found Sofia, wandering the streets of Belleville, her eyes vacant, her heart broken. The mansion was abandoned, its doors sealed, and the final word was never spoken of again. But some say, on quiet nights, if you listen closely, you can still hear the whispers of a love that defied death itself.